So hello, assalamualaikum. I'm Mohammed Shari Al-Musagim Middle. So in this video, we're going to learn about the Gemini. Then we're going to talk about Google AI Studio, and lastly the Vertex AI Studio. So we'll just learn the basic stuff today again, what are the basically the metrics and parameters basically you can fine tune and so on. Okay, so for example, now starting with Gemini. Now here you can see this is something you can just look into. You can just go to Google and search for Gemini, or then you can just search for, and now here is the thing where you ask questions or whatever it is. So in general, this is basically called prompt, not like input, okay, or questions, basically prompt. Okay, so what is a prompt? Prompt is basically some sort of sentence or question you just want the LLM to answer. Okay, so this is basically Gemini, and it has multiple versions, and if you just look into its versions, we can check that. Let me look into that in a while. So we'll just follow a block. Okay, and if you just look in the block, so here you can see it has basically currently Ultra, Pro, Flash and Nano, the minus blocks. I think that should be good. Okay, so if you just look into, just you can just Google it down, like DeepMind, Google, then technology/Gemini. Then you will see that this is chat with Gemini, then build with Gemini. So basically we have currently Ultra, Pro, Flash and Nano. So these are the models currently, and you can see Project Astra and others. Okay, so and talking about this is basically, these are basically the models, and you can understand now currently in the market you might have heard of GPT-4 Turbo, you might have heard of Claude, and this is a Gemini 1.5. okay, so here this has you can also see the parameters and so on. Okay, with that, so why are we talking about these, or why should we use these models? So here is a from the paper published by Google. So that is in the paper, they have actually mentioned these, and also those are also included here as well. So here you can see for the general purpose things, these are the models like Gemini 1.0, Gemini 1.0 Ultra, Gemini 1.5 Pro and others. So it has basically compared, and you can see for coding, for mathematics, for reasoning and other, you can see the best performance is basically in here. Here you can see it is 81.9, here you can see 85.9. so it is basically using Gemini 1.5 Pro. So this is basically the comparison between all the Gemini models. But what you can see is, you can just look for the recent papers, and you will see it has compared Google has actually compared like ChatGPT or GPT-3 or GPT-4 and other LLM models with their Gemini, and it has showed like in various aspects Gemini is much more faster and accurate. Okay, these are basically accuracy and others metrics. Okay, so here you can see for video, etc and so on. So you can see the comparison between all of the models, and you see the 1.5 Pro is currently doing good, very good here. So these are the comparisons, and I'm just talking about it because these are the model you can use, and we will actually use it within a while. But when you are using Gemini, you are not sure about which model you are using. Okay, but when you are using Google AI Studio, you know, or you can choose that. So currently the issue for using Gemini is you don't need to, like, this is basically Gemini is for the non-developer peoples, or like folks who don't need to bother about the those modeling, fine-tuning or whatever it is. You just want an answer, you want to use it. Okay, so you can just use it. Maybe what is the best color of flowers? just for example, just think. So here you can see the base color of flower so is often a matter of personal preference. So that's a very good thing, because surely because in general, because as this model or is LLM has been trained a lot, and that is the biggest reason it has like answered so well, because in general it might have answered like it is red, it is blue. So when the LLM or when this chat GPT was like initially launched, what was happening was people was asking for questions, and people were asking for questions, and they were like these answers were like or something like, okay, this is the best answer, like this is red, pink, etc, etc. But later on, when developers actually started improving that, so it is now currently you can see an answer that it is showing like, okay, there are all very various options, and you cannot exactly say which is the best, but these are the things you can just test it, you can just look for those, and you can guess for yourself. That should be good. Okay, ultimately the best color for you depend on the occasion, recipient, and your personal taste. So you can see that's very good answer. And the thing is, another thing is, if you just go to the white one, and uh, like this is generated by LLM, right? But if you want to check it, like if you like from Google will check and search for, because when Google does that, Google basically will do the fact checking, and it finds out like these are the things that is actually true: passion, love, desire. Here you can see this is green, but if this color like is like red or other, that you have to understand that this is not something this LLM has searched for from Google or from any valid resource. It might be something that it has created of its own. So these are the things you can do, like you can just testify. But surely uh, the thing is you have to keep in mind is you cannot make a lot of changes out here. You can just ask questions. Surely you can add images here and ask questions about it. There's no problem with that, right? So I think what I would do, okay, so maybe for example, let me take this image, copy image, okay, okay, I think describe the image should be good. Okay, describe the image. Let's see if it can detect it's a stick or not. This the image shows a delicious looking realistic. Yes, great. So you can see that even an image for the non-developer folks, it can be like, okay, AI can detect that. That should be obvious. But we like the AI engineers, they know like how we have to go for that. We have to deal with a lot of things, right? Starting with like every single pixel, where we have to train that in neural network and so on. That is how it works. That is how it understands. First of all, it detects like what is there here, like what is here in the image. Then it actually generates this awesome actually answer as well. So it is there's a lot of process that is happening in the back, and you can see the answer was very fast. So you can assume how fast the model has to work. Okay, now I think that should be good for us for the general purpose one, like, and if you just want to start from fresh, you can just do that, and there are another few options you can just test from there. But now we want to look for this one, which is called Google AI Studio. So you can just do it as like, you can just look for this Google AI Studio, sign in or sign up. Now you will be here. Okay, so here the thing is I will try to ask the like same questions maybe. What, sorry, now I don't know if you can see, but let me just answer, what is the best color of flowers? Okay, just the same question, I'm just running that. So here you can see there is no single best color of flower. It's completely subjective and depends on the personal preference. So you can see it has again given us an answer. But the thing is, earlier when we asked for the question, that was totally, the answer was totally different, right? This time is totally different as well. So let me just copy it and paste it. Let me check if it generates the same answer here. Here you can see you're making me work hard. It's a trick question, isn't it? There's no single base color. So same thing, but this time it's like less answer because it understood like, okay, this question has been asked again previously. So yeah, it's like has answered like you are making me work hard, right? That's the thing. Now, interestingly, if I take this temperature to 0 and answer and ask this question. Now the thing is, in general, as we are asking the same question and so on, you will see like to figure out the best color I need to what are you looking for, etc. So basically the answer is not that much of it is not that much of changing, right? These are the things. Okay, let's keep it to the reset. That's not a very important. We'll talk about temperature later on, but these are the things. Again, let's talk about this sec image. Okay, Control V, describe this image. Let's just talk about that. User, and this is a model. The image shows a delicious grilled steak on a wonderful cutting board. Steak is sliced, etc. So you can see that it is it's not only a steak, it's like it has also mentioned steak is sliced and has a beautiful char on the outside. It is surrounded by other grilled vegetables and so on. That's really awesome, right? Very much detailed answer. This is what you expect, like maybe from like for the developer perspective, you know, the AI engineers perspective, you know how we went through that, but for like industry folks, you are just looking for an AI which will detect it perfectly just like a human, right? Isn't it? So you don't need to bother about it. You are just focused on the answer, right? And AI is actually trying to do that, and I really hope it will do it far better in the long run. So here an interesting factor what we need to know in the Gemini, what we couldn't do, like we couldn't choose the models. Now here you can see we can choose the models. We have 1.0 Pro, 1.5 Pro, 1.5 Pro experiments and so on, right? Even 2, 1.5 flash, then 27 billion parameters, 9 billion parameters. So you can also ask what are these parameters. These basically means is in a neural network we have weights, right? So these are the number of weights. Okay, the more weights we have, the better the more answer it is supposed to be, and the more expensive it is. Okay, so there are a lot of things like you can just choose that and so on. So you can choose from here. You can just Google it, like which model has what kind of thing. Now here is an interesting factor, that is you can work with it for free. You can fine tune it, you can ask questions here, even you can do it here as well. But there is an important thing that is called token. These tokens are fixed. Like you can see for this particular model 1.5 flash, we have this allocated token. Okay, if you just look, maybe if you look into another like 1.5 Pro, you can see it is different. So this is your limit. You can see it is currently 786. So how basically the more actually depends on the token out here. Token is basically small chunk of words. Okay, using those tokens or small words, machine learning or large language models do find out the answers for our questions or prompt. Okay, let me just delete these ones. Let me delete those ones, and you will see the prompt to be here. Like now it's the token is 0, right? So for example, if I just write down like who is the Prezi USA, right? That's great, right? We have just written that. Now you can see the token number is 8. Now you don't know, it's not like here you can see 1 2 3 4 5 6 sentences, but we have token 8. So you cannot specify how many tokens we have or something, but I can assure you, like from this blog I have written that. So if you just look into that, I'll just share this blog in the description, so you can check that out. So what is this blog all about, or whatever it is, you can just look into that. So for the token perspective, if we go here, okay, so for example, if someone writes hello world, hello comma world and exclamatory, and you can see it might basically token, it might is not fixed, we don't know, we can tokenize this or create tokens of hello, this word, and after that maybe the comma, and then world, and then this one. So you can see there was like just two words, but we have tokens, and we have like 1 2 3 4 tokens. So it can happen. Okay, it just creates like a small like why we create these tokens, because it's almost like if you're posting in social media, you use the hashtags, right? These are some sort of like those hashtags. Using those is better for the model to search like hello. Okay, it will relate when people ask, when people write hello and the world. Okay, so it will understand. Okay, so basically it might mean coding, something coding related, because most of the people, engineers, do write this down like hello world in their question or in their first code, right? So these are the things. So you can just read this out. Okay, let's just look into here again. Okay, great. So I think yes, who is the percent of yours? So you can see it is 8. So 8, so we have the limit of this, so we can ask questions until but this is the limitation basically. So currently the answer is the current president of the US is Joe Biden. Now here you can see the token is like 21, because all of the sentence it just turns to tokens. So it includes both basically your question and answer as well the token. So this is the limit. This is so depending on that you can actually ask questions and expect the answer to be okay. If your question is maybe write a essay and it starts writing, should be this is the limit of the token. Okay, you have to keep in mind. So surely you are using it for free, but this is the token limit. Now here is a thing called temperature. So what is this temperature? If you just look into here in the block, temperature, so let's look into temperature. Okay, so temperature, it basically controls the randomness in token selection. Now here you can see like randomness token selection. What do you mean? Now the thing is, just for an example, just previously we talked about like hello world, right? Now this sentence has been tokenized into hello comma hello comma world and exclamatory, these 4 tokens, right? Now using these tokens, like tokens are there for us to actually search various things and help us in the large language model. Now the thing is, using temperature we can actually increase the importance or probability of a token. Okay, so what am I talking about it? So for example, just talking about this, assume that this is a probability here in the y-axis, and is the x-axis we have the for low temperature. Just understand for this, just ignore this. For low temperature, like when we can have maximum of 2 temperature, here you can check, we can have it to maximum of 2, but in general it's like by default it's set to 1 or others. Okay, it's also mentioned in the Google blog. So here you can see we have a blog. Okay, you can just check that out from this, check the blog from here. So for Gemini 1.5 Flash, it is the range is 0 to 2, default is 1, and so on. These are the things. Temperature has some default values, they've said that. Now the thing is low temperature, when like for example now we have 1 2 3 4 5 tokens. Okay, assume that we have 5 tokens, and this means is one of the token is very important, is it has the high probability to get chosen, and using that chosen token we will actually get a very good answer from the large language model. So basically LLMs, when you give a prompt to an LLM, it basically actually from the prompt it actually creates some sort of tokens, and it understands what is the important token out here, which token should I look for, which token should I work with. So using this temperature, this is what you do. Using the temperature, you actually increase the probability of a token. So for example, maybe if you just compare it with hello, then this word comma, then world and exclamatory. So what will happen is you can assume this as world. Okay, this world. So the world has maybe the high probability for us to choose. Okay, So this is the world, and this can be hello, this can be comma, this can be exclamatory. Okay, assume that. So when it is low, just only one or two or very few tokens are there that will be selected. Maybe in general it's one. Okay, and using that one we generate some answer. Now in the high temperature, what happens is you can see the tokens are exactly the same, but the improbability has changed. How? When we increase the temperature, what happens is this importance, like the probability of the token world, maybe this is the world, it has been decreased, and but what happened is other two, these two has increased. So what happens now is when we have high temperature, now we will take these three. Now you can see this is the most red, but these three are red as well. These are white, okay, because they have very less probability. But now, so to sum up, in low temperature we get very less tokens which has the most probability. You can see the one or automatically that gets increased, and in the high temperature the most like that what I would say, the only token that is that has the highest probability might decrease its probability, and you can see it has decreased, and other two has increased a bit. Now what happened, why are we talking about it? You will understand that when I will talk about top k, top p, etc. But the thing is, now assume that world, hello, and exclamatory, these words these tokens will be used now to get a better answer. So the more token, the better, the more token we have, or the more token which has a very good probability we have, the better answer we can expect. And now the thing is, why are we using, as I did mention, the temperature is there for the randomness. Now how the randomness, now you can see randomness means like when we have low temperature we can just have this one, just one token, maybe world. When we have high temperature we have three. Now surely the answer with only world, only the token world, will not be same as a answer using how world and exclamatory, using three token. So you can just compare that by 1 versus 3. So surely this will be much more better, because why? Because you have asked for a question that like hello world, right? Now the thing is, you are not expecting the LLM to answer using just world. The LLM might not even understand what you are asking for using just world, right? Isn't it better if we have much more token that it takes when it processes the LLM, right? So this is how it works. So this is how we change, and this is how the randomness etc changes. So from here you can just see the low temperature just increases, like the if the token, one of the token that has the most probability, it just increases, so it will be taken only because it is increased in such a manner so that these are decreased as well. So you just will take just only the one. Okay, now another is like now in the high temperature it decreases a bit and these are increased as well, so you take much more parameters. So you can do, so this is how the answer will be totally different. This the answer generated here and the answer generated here will be far more different. So this is how we can understand that. Now talking about safety settings, so here you can see like harassment, you can just choose those like block some or block low, or like don't block or something. So it is expected like for sure, like should reset that. So here you can see block high probability of being harmful. You just block these answers. Like when you ask for these questions, you are saying the LLM model to block this sort of answers, not like sexually explicit or dangerous content, or not hatred content, not harassment. So these sort of content will not be in your answer. They will surely make sure that these are some sort of sentences or sentiment, these are not included in your answer. So this is something you can look into. Also talking about JSON tool or code execution, you can look into that, but these are not important. Talking about stop sequence, that's an important one. Okay, so how can we understand that? So stop sequence is basically you will basically mention some sort of word or some sort of things which if the answer generates that answer or that word or something, it will stop answering. Okay, for example, um, describe about Cox's Bazaar. Describe me about Cox's Bazaar, and now I'll set this to beach. Cox's Bazaar, sea beach, right? I think. I think that should not be just sea beach. So, okay, let's see. Okay. Here you can see Cox's Bazar is city, fishing port tourism center, headquarter, southern Bangladesh is famous for its long sandy. Here we were expecting there should be a beach, right? Sandy beach. But it has been stopped now. You can see it is not working because it just found out like this is stop sequence. When it's found out that it will stop. But if we remove that and ask the same question, and I will sure delete this ones just for the better one. Let's just look into that. Here you can see it's becoming like it's a long one, right? Here you can see, as I did mention beach, you can see this was expected, this is what that was going to be generated. So that's why it stopped when it found out the beach. Okay, so you can choose those like when it finds out. So in general what happens is people do look for maybe full stop or something that they do add, and it limits a bit, but this is totally technical purpose, like how you can actually manage that, how you will generate that. Okay, now output length, so you can actually tell or you can fix like how big the output can be. You can just increase that as well, or you can decrease that as well, no problem. There's a lot of thing, and this is not important that much. But top K and top P is something that we can not available for this model. Here you can see for 1.5 Pro you cannot do that, but if you just look for 1.0 Pro you can set that. Now what is top K? Now let's go and check that out. Check out this block, that's important. Okay, top K, right? So what is top K? Basically now we basically deals with the model, right? Okay, let me just talk about this. It will be far better rather than talking about just blogs. You can just check that out from the blog. So here you can see we have these tokens. For example, happy, wonderful, merry, very, speedy. These are the tokens that has been somehow created. Now you can see these like when we say top K equal to 1, it will take the just one token, and which token which has the highest probability. Okay, now when we say K equal to 3, it takes 3 tokens, but which 3 has the highest probability? So these 3. So this is this K, it's or value of top K basically defines the token. Okay, this is how you are saying, or you are basically fine-tuning the model or answer. Basically you are not fine-tuning the model, basically you're fine-tuning the answer. Now top P is another important thing, that is if you set top P equal to 0.5, now you can say how what's the value or something. The value for top P is from 0.0 to 1.0. Okay, but the value of K top K, it's basically the range is 1 to 40, you can see, right? Okay, so top P has a value from 0.0 to 1.0. So for example, if you set top P to 0.5 and assume that happy has the probability of 30%, wonderful has a probability of 20%. In total, they like 30% means 0.3, 20% means 0.2. So in total, they create like they have the value 0.5, right? So it will take these two. So you can set top P, top K at the same time, or you might not select them at the same time. So these are the things you can do. Using top P, you are just basically using the probability, and you're saying like this is the total sum of probability I need. Okay, so the happy token has a probability of 30%, wonderful has 20%. So in total it's 0.5. So it will choose these two tokens. So it's totally up to you. Now the thing is, when should we use temperature, top K, P or top K, etc. So here you can see how it works for temperature. Is controls the randomness of the model. Top key is basically limits the number of tokens considered during generation. So top case, so here you have seen like maybe when we set it to 1, it just takes 1 token. When we set it to 3, it takes 3 token and something. And top p is basically specify a cumulative probability threshold. That means maybe when we are setting 0.5, it takes the tokens which has the summation of probability to that value. And when to use, when you want to generate more creative and surprising outputs, you want to encourage the model to explore diverse options. So this is when you change temperature, low, high, etc. And when you want to generate a diverse set of outputs without sacrificing coherence, this one. And for top p, when you want to generate a very creative or surprising outputs, or when you need to ensure that the outputs are consistent with a specific style or tone. So this is how or when you are basically specifying those things. Okay, so yeah, that's the thing. So here you can set it up. You can set it to 3, you can set it to something, and for the top p you can see that it has the value from 0 to 1. Okay, as I did mention. And for the top k, for example, if you just set it to 40, now if we want to increase, we can do that, because it depends on the model. It depends, because here you can see for 1.5 it is 64, it has been selected. You cannot actually decrease it, no problem. So again, for this flash you cannot, for this you can do it. So you can just test that, depends on the model. Okay, but you can also see for gamma 2 27 billion parameters, we have 0.95 top p, maximum of 0.95, it's not 1. So it also changes a bit, so it depends on the model. Okay, so this is how you can fine tune it here, etc, etc. And the interesting factor is which is the largest C page. Let's see, is it Bangladesh? Is it in Bangladesh? No. That's the interesting one. So here you can see the longest sea beach, which people know, it is actually in Brazil. It's not in Bangladesh. And the wildest, like some beaches like Oxford in Bangladesh are incredibly wide. So, and it's basically in the, sorry, my bad, widest. Widest one is here, but when we in Bangladesh, when people talk about, okay, we have the largest sea beach, actually it is not, it is the widest. Okay, largest is in Brazil. Now the thing is, so they mentioned both because both metrics are important. Okay, largest. Now the thing is, why am I talking about this thing? You know, if you want to actually ask this question, maybe or use it in your local system, or maybe in your, you are not use, don't want to use this AI Studio, you have your own system, you just want to do it there, you can surely use it in Kaggle, you can use the Vertex AI, we will use that later on. But there are a few options, like we can, for example, right now we can't actually use it. Here you cannot get access to that here. So if you just change the model using that 27 billion parameter, you just can't get access to the code. But for 1.5 Pro, you can get access to the code. Here you can see, if you just go for the code, you will see a Python code. Okay, so you can use it, you can just copy this one, you can then paste it in your local system, and you can then use it. Okay, so this is how you can also get these answers from in your local system or in your own system. So this is like the Google AI Studio. This is where you can work, you can go for new tuned model and something. Okay, select data for tuning, so you will have to train it, right? Tune some model, so you will need to share, say, CSV file or others and so on, right? So there are a lot of things you can work on it. But another thing, apart from this Google AI Studio, we have another thing which is called Vertex AI. Okay, so for here, I just came here in my Google Cloud account. So there is not that much of different thing, just the same thing that you can do, but I will just make sure that you can see the things that can happen or options. Here you can see, you can choose the models. Okay, the various, and you can see it's not like only Gemini. We have lots of things like text, Bison, then a lot of things. Okay, experimental and so on. You can see code, Gecko, Bison, and so on. There's a lot of models out here. That's good. You also get the code and you have to choose or specify a region. Right now it was not for the AI Studio, right? And you can say the temperature, that's good, and you can just press it here and you can understand what is this, what it means. Okay, and also output token limit, so you can specify the token limit for output, that's good as well. But the interesting factor is Vertex AI. Here you can't see the token, it is the output token, right? Output token limit, just like this here. What do you say, output length. Okay, but here we can't see token because it is very much expensive, Vertex AI. So you need to make sure, like when you are creating in Google Cloud account, you will get $300 credit, but still there are very limitations on that. But you need to make sure that when you are running your big models or anything you're doing here in Vertex AI, you will be charged a lot. So as there you can't see any token limit, so you can do a big thing. Like now you want to generate a essay, you can do that. It can have thousands or maybe 1,000 pages, that's not a problem. If you have the credits, or if you have the money in your card, surely that won't be a problem, because it will basically give you all of the access. So this is basically the platform that the developers do use, okay, for the bigger things. Now here you can see stop sequence, you can add that just like the earlier one. And here you can see hit page, dangerous content, sexual thing, and harassment, same thing. The safety settings. And talking about the advanced one, here you can see max response, that's totally different thing. The maximum number of model response generated per prompt. Okay, maximum number of model responses, so you're specifying how many models you're basically using. Here you can see just one here, but you can specify it to other things. Okay, and you cannot actually, like streaming does not support this parameter, disable this disable streaming to enable this parameter. So it is not currently in use, we have to disable the streaming, so you just don't need to bother about it currently. Let's talk about the top P. Here we know about top P, right? For this model 1.5 flash, so here you can see we can have value from 0 to 1, but it can be different as well. And here you can see top K as well. Okay, so top K, top P, so you have learned all of those concepts in the previous Google AI Studio one, right? So these are the things you can do. You can surely ask the questions here right now, no problem with that, right? But there are few things, not only like Vertex here doesn't have only like this thing that you can just ask questions here. You can have your own, you can say collab enterprise, right? So you can just you can go there and you can run your IPYNB files, and that can generate like maybe thousands of tokens, right? That can do it, or big answers. You can do all of your research purpose things here in Colab Enterprise, then Workbench. These are almost the same. You can just use Colab Enterprise. It will be just the interface version on the Colab, and Workbench is basically will have the same stuff, like not that much of expensive. Then Freeform. This is something we can see in the freeform. Also you can add your images here. Okay, upload your images, ask questions. Okay, same thing, it will happen. And it can have basically chat ways, like you can also chat with the models. Like it's basically the UI, right? You can just see it's basically some sort of chatting one, right? Okay, for the vision, you can also have that for the vision. Okay, vision, so you can generate something, or you can edit something, or you can submit a text prompt to generate images, and so on. You can do that. Because access, this feature is available for limited number of customers, so you can ask for that. And we have translation, you can just ask for English to etc. Something, you can just ask for translations. We have speech, we have prompt gallery, that's an important one. Here you can see there are lots of basically prompts. Okay, for example, Docker script is a generate text. Let me look into hashtag. Let's look for hashtag. Okay, hashtag tokenization. So for example, here, so here you can see we have an input Google Cloud 25 etc. So if we just press here you can see 534 token, just press this one. Here you can see all of most of the things that has been translated to like some sort of tokens. Okay, here are the tokens hashtags for each tweet. Okay, So basically what we are expecting, like this is maybe a post you want to give in your Twitter. So you just ask for like generate me hashtags for the this post, so it just generated this. So you can just use this in your Twitter post. Okay, so that's it. I think that should be no problem with that. Okay, great. Now what we can do, we can, okay, discard it, no problem. So yeah, like you can also fine tune the model. So from here, if you go to create tuned models, you will just look into in supervised, you will just see like you have base like Gemini model and others models as well. You can do it, like you can fine tune your models. But also if you go for this one, create this one, you won't find any Gemini model. It is basically text bison and text bison. So these are the models we have. This an issue, so you can surely fine tune your models and so on. As I mentioned, fine tuning is expensive, and if you have seen my videos previously, fine tuning is expensive rather than working with retrieval augmented RAG. So that is something not that much of expensive, because you are basically providing it some context or data. Okay, so fine tuning is expensive, but as I did mention, when you have the credits or you have the dollar in your account, you can just use it, use this Google Cloud. That should be better, because it's very much expensive and you can do anything basically. Okay, these are the things. So this is how you can use Vertex AI. So prepare, you can prepare data, you can model development, you can deploy and use, you can use Vertex AI Studio, there's Model Garden, there is Colab Enterprise, a lot of things for you to use all of the actually AI things, right? So I think that should be it, right? We have gone through a lot and we have learned about like how we can fine tune just the answers, like randomness, how can we actually give the value of top P, top K, temperature, tokens, and these are the things, and you can just try it yourself. When you're using Gemini, you won't need that. You will just ask the answers. When you want to fine tune that, when you want to actually change the answers or test a few things, you can do it here. But if you are someone who is from industry and want to test a lot of stuff and etc., you should go for Vertex AI rather than Google AI Studio, because it has a limit of token. Here you can see, but surely Vertex AI doesn't have that, and that's why you are charged a lot, right? So yeah, thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope you will now understand how can you use Gemini, how can you use Google AI Studio, and how to use Vertex AI. And I hope we will have lots of videos on Vertex AI in our later series. Thank you so much for watching this video, and see you in the next video.